Let's get right into it. 12. The ghost response. Picture this. You send a thoughtful text message at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, it's delivered, it's read, and then silence. Complete radio silence for approximately 847 years, or what it feels like. Meanwhile, you're watching their Instagram stories where they're posting memes about being too busy while literally uploading 17 different angles of their sandwich. Your brain starts doing this fun thing where it convinces you that maybe their phone exploded or perhaps they've been abducted by aliens who specifically target people mid-conversation. But here's the kicker. When someone's genuinely interested, they find time to respond, even if it's just, "Hey, crazy day, we'll text later." The psychology behind this is simple. We prioritize what matters to us. If you're not getting responses, you're probably not in their priority queue. Congratulations, you've been mentally filed under maybe later, right next to their gym membership and that book they swore they'd read. 11. The enthusiasm vacuum. Ever notice how when you're talking to someone about your latest obsession, whether it's that new show, your weird hobby, or your existential crisis about whether hot dogs or sandwiches, and their responses sound like they're reading from a customer service script? That's cool. Interesting. Oh, wow. Meanwhile, their face has the same expression people get when watching paint dry, except somehow less engaged. When people are genuinely interested in you, they ask follow-up questions. They remember details from previous conversations. They don't respond to your passionate rant about the superiority of pineapple pizza with the emotional intensity of a wet napkin. Your brain is basically screaming, "Engage with my thoughts, human!" while their brain is probably wondering if they have any snacks at home. The psychology principle here is called active listening versus waiting for your turn to leave. Guess which category you're in. 10. The Flake Factor. Some people cancel plans like it's an Olympic sport and they're gunning for gold. First, it's something came up. Then it's feeling under the weather. By the third cancellation, they're probably claiming their pet goldfish is having an existential crisis and needs emotional support. Here's what's happening psychologically. When someone consistently cancels on you, they're essentially communicating that literally anything else that pops up is more appealing than spending time with you. Ouch, right? But it gets worse. They might even reschedule initially to seem polite, then cancel that too. Your brain, being the optimistic little masochist it is, keeps making excuses for them. Maybe they really are that busy. Meanwhile, they're posting Instagram stories of their spontaneous Target run. The science says that when we're genuinely excited about something, we protect that time slot like it's the last slice of pizza at a college party. Number 9. The Physical Distance Olympics. Watch someone who's not interested in you navigate physical space. It's like they're playing an invisible game of the floor is lava, except the lava is getting too close to you. They'll maintain exactly enough distance to technically be polite, but far enough away that you couldn't accidentally brush hands reaching for the same bag of chips. Body language experts call this proxemics, which is fancy science speak for how much space people need to feel comfortable. When someone likes you, they naturally close the distance. They'll lean in during conversations, find excuses to be near you, or position themselves so you're in their direct line of sight. But when they're not feeling it, suddenly they need a personal bubble the size of a small country. They'll sit across the room, find barriers like tables or other people to put between you, and generally treat your presence like you're emitting some kind of force field. It's like human repulsion in action, and your subconscious picks up on it, even when your conscious brain is busy making excuses. Number 8. The conversation black hole. You know that feeling when you're trying to have a conversation and it's like throwing tennis balls into a black hole? You serve up interesting topics, funny stories, thoughtful questions, and somehow they all disappear into this conversational void where responses go to die. Meanwhile, you're working harder than a one-person customer service department trying to keep things alive. Psychologically, this happens because genuine interest creates what researchers call reciprocal disclosure. When someone likes you, they naturally want to share things about themselves too. They'll match your energy, build on your stories, and ask questions that show they're actually processing what you're saying. But when they're not interested, your fascinating anecdote about that weird thing that happened at the grocery store gets met with, ha ha ha, yeah, and then deafening silence. Your brain starts working overtime, desperately trying to find the magic combination of words that will unlock their engagement, like you're trying to crack some kind of a social code. Spoiler alert, there isn't one because they've already mentally checked out. Number 7, the future planning allergy. Mention anything that happens more than 48 hours in the future and watch them break out in metaphorical hives. Want to see that movie next weekend? Suddenly becomes a question more complicated than quantum physics. They'll give you responses so vague they could apply to literally any situation. Maybe, we'll see, let me check my schedule. Which, by the way, is code for I'm hoping you'll forget about this by then. The psychology here is fascinating because humans are natural planners when they're motivated. When someone's genuinely interested, they'll not only make future plans, but actually suggest them. They'll remember that concert you mentioned wanting to see and bring up getting tickets. But when they're not feeling it, the future becomes this scary, unknowable realm where commitment is the enemy. Your brain interprets this as them being busy or spontaneous, but really they're just allergic to the idea of guaranteeing they'll have to spend more time with you. It's like they're treating future plans with you as a subscription service they definitely don't want to sign up for. 6. The social media paradox. This one's particularly brutal in our digital age of oversharing. They'll post 17 Instagram stories about their breakfast, tweet their thoughts on every Netflix show ever made, and somehow find time to comment on their high school acquaintances' dog photos from 2019. But your witty comment on their post? Invisible. Your DM? Opened and abandoned in the digital graveyard where messages go to die. The psychological principle here is called selective attention. Our brains naturally focus on what we find rewarding or interesting. When someone's into you, interacting with your social media content feels good, so they seek it out. They'll like your posts, respond to your stories, maybe even slide into those DMs with actual conversation. But when they're not interested, your digital presence becomes background noise. You could post a photo of yourself meeting a celebrity, winning the lottery, or discovering the cure for hiccups, and somehow they'd still manage to scroll right past it. Meanwhile, they're actively engaging with everyone else's content like they're running for mayor of the internet. 5. The energy mismatch. Ever notice how when you're around them you feel like you're bringing the enthusiasm of a golden retriever at a tennis ball factory, while they've got the energy of a sloth contemplating whether it's worth the effort to blank? This isn't just bad luck or different personality types, it's your nervous systems having completely different reactions to the same situation. When someone's genuinely interested in you, there's usually some kind of energy synchronization happening. Maybe you both get a little more animated, or you settle into this comfortable matching rhythm. But when they're not feeling it, your excitement becomes this awkward solo performance, while they're basically operating in power-saving mode. Psychologists call this emotional contagion, how we naturally pick up on and mirror each other's emotional states. Except in this case, their emotional state seems to be meh, and yours is, please notice me existing. Your brain keeps cranking up the enthusiasm, thinking maybe you just need to be more interesting, funnier, more engaging. But really, you're just performing for an audience that's already mentally changed the channel. 4. The group dynamic shift. Watch what happens when you're in a group setting with them. Suddenly, it's like you've developed a superpower for becoming invisible. They'll be animated, funny, engaging with everyone else, but when you contribute to the conversation, it's like you spoke in a frequency only dogs can hear. They'll literally turn their body away from you to address someone else or somehow manage to acknowledge everyone's jokes except yours. It's not that they're being deliberately mean, they're just unconsciously displaying what psychologists call selective social engagement. When someone's interested in you, you typically become a focal point in group settings. They'll make eye contact with you when they're telling stories, they'll build on your comments, they'll create little moments of connection even when others are around. But when they're not interested, you basically become part of the furniture. Your presence registers about as much as the decorative lamp in the corner. The brutal part is watching them light up for everyone else while you're standing right there wondering if you've accidentally learned how to phase out of existence. 3. The compliment desert. When's the last time they said something genuinely nice about you? And no, your hair looks fine doesn't count. That's basically the verbal equivalent of a participation trophy. People who are genuinely interested in you notice things. They'll comment on your sense of humor, remember that you're good at something specific, or mention how they enjoy your company. It's like their brain has this natural highlight reel of your positive qualities. But when someone's not interested, you could show up looking like a movie star, crack the joke of the century, or display talents that would make a Renaissance artist weep with envy, and somehow they'll manage to find something neutral to say like, "That's nice," or just nod approvingly like you're a mildly interesting piece of art they're forced to view at a museum. The psychology behind this is simple. We naturally focus and vocalize the positive traits of people we're drawn to. It's called positive bias in attraction. Basically, our brains become compliment-generating machines for people we like. When that machine is broken around you, it's not because you're not worthy of compliments. It's because their brain has already decided you're not in the special attention category. 2. The touch barrier. Physical touch is like a secret language between humans. Except when someone's not interested in you, they're basically speaking in "please keep your distance" signals. We're talking about the kind of person who will contort themselves into impossible positions to avoid accidental contact. They'll hand you things in a way that ensures zero finger overlap, navigate through crowded spaces like you're emitting some kind of force field, and somehow always end up sitting or standing just slightly out of natural touching range. Meanwhile, you've probably noticed they're perfectly normal with physical contact around other people. High fives, friendly hugs, casual arm touches during conversation. But around you, suddenly they've developed an invisible personal space bubble that would make a germaphobe proud. The science here involves oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which gets released during positive physical contact. When someone's attracted to or fond of you, their brain actually craves these small moments of connection. But when they're not interested, their nervous system treats your potential touch like a mild threat to their personal autonomy. It's not personal, but it definitely feels personal when you're the only one being treated like you're contagious. 1. The effort equation. Here's the big one, the mathematical proof that they're just not that into you. When someone genuinely likes you, they put in effort that's proportional to their interest level. They'll remember details from your conversations, suggest activities you might enjoy, check in on you when you've mentioned having a rough day, or even just put thought into their responses to your messages. But when they're not interested, every interaction feels like you're asking them to solve calculus with blindfolded. Simple questions get one-word answers. Plans require you to do all the organizational heavy lifting. Conversations feel like you're a talk show host, desperately trying to get interesting responses from the world's most reluctant guest. The principle here is called investment theory. We naturally invest time, energy, and attention into things and people we value. When someone consistently makes you feel like you're bothering them by simply existing in their vicinity, or like every interaction is a favor they're reluctantly granting you, your brain is picking up on a fundamental truth. You're not a priority to them. The hardest part is accepting that all your extra effort won't change their level of interest. It'll just exhaust you while they continue operating at minimal engagement levels. That's all for today. I'll be making more videos like this, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them.